Hello everybody, it's Marcia from One Scrap at a Time, and I am back today with another layout for My Creative Scrapbook. So I'm using the March main kit which featured the Pink Paislee Bloom Street collection and some of Shimelle's Never Grow Up collection. So I fussy cut out a whole bunch of butterflies from that piece of pattern paper that I showed in my previous video. And I wanted to create a layout that used a ton of those butterflies on a background. So what I thought would be fun was to create my own background here using some distress inks and make some clouds. So I'm using this stencil that I had. I don't even know where this came from. I've had it in my stash for a really long time. I think I got it at Argivers originally. So I'm using it as a stencil with some distress ink and a dauber and just going over the edge, and it leaves shadow effect so that it appears that there's clouds there. This is really fun to do. So I wanted to go from a really light ink at the top and then gradually get darker and darker as I went further down my page. So I don't remember what those ink colors are called. I know one of them was China Blue. Faded Jeans, I think, is another one. I really don't remember what they were. I just grabbed all the blue ones I had. Yeah, so I'm not even bothering to clean off the edge of this plastic stencil. I'm just going over the top and adding more clouds as I go down. And they're getting much more defined with the darker ink. With this last one, it's kind of a grayish blue, but in the end, this one doesn't show up very much in my layout because I did add some pattern paper at the bottom of my layout, so this ink isn't very visible. There's just a little bit, I think, that you can see. So I don't know, but it was really fun to create this background. I think it's going to look great with those butterflies. Alright, so I picked out a few pieces of pattern paper. Since my daughter's dog Nana here is wearing a plaid sweater and her little booties for the snow, I thought I would go with the plaid paper, and her sweater is pink, so I picked out some pink pattern paper here as well with little hearts on it, and I'm just tearing the paper and then I'm going to adhere it down on the bottom. It helps to ground the layout when you have the pattern paper on the bottom there, and it helps to anchor my photo there as well, rather than just have the photo appear there. So on the back of my photo I have recycled some chipboard and I put down some foam tape, and I'm going to make sure that my photo is even on here before I go ahead and try to arrange any butterflies. So now that once I'm happy with the position of it, I'm just going to grab a handful of butterflies and start arranging them in some kind of fashion where they're all mixed up. I didn't want the same butterflies to be next to each other, so there's a lot of variety that in the butterflies that I cut out of the pattern paper. So I'm switching it up with the pink butterflies and the green and the blue butterflies, and some are small and some are larger. So I'm just trying to get a good variety mix in here as I go. So I'm gonna distribute my butterflies up from my photo and out to the edges at the top of my layout. So my thought was my daughter's dog Nana really does not like the cold. So I had been debating about what titles to put on this layout. I could have used some swear words here, but I decided not to, and instead I went with a safe title, just Thinking Warm Thoughts. Alright, so now that I have my butterflies arranged the way I want them, I'm going to start to glue them down. And I'm just going to glue the center of the butterfly down. I don't want to glue the wings totally down. I want to leave some room so that I could have the wings angling up to show some kind of motion, as if they were going to take flight off my page. So I'm just going to glue the center of the butterflies down. As I'm doing this, I'll tell you a little bit about my daughter's dog Nana. She came to Minnesota from, I think, North Carolina when the hurricane went through North Carolina a year or two ago. And my daughter is an emergency veterinarian, and she happened to go to a Humane Society, and I think she was looking for the dog that needed her the most. Because Nana is an older dog. She needed to have all of her teeth removed. She has kidney problems, so she's on a special diet. But this little dog is just a spitfire. We just love her personality. She makes us laugh all the time. But she really does not like the snow here in Minnesota. So we have to carry her outside in the snow because she doesn't like to walk in it, even with her booties on. Sometimes we have to carry her out a couple times before she'll finally do her job outside. She would much prefer to do it inside where it is warmer. All right. So once I have all of these butterflies glued on here, I'm going to start to bend up the edges of their wings. I just love these butterflies. This whole kit is just phenomenal. These butterflies were the only pattern paper from the Shimelle Never Grow Up collection, but I think this page that's pattern paper with the butterflies, I think is my favorite. I don't know, maybe I just am a butterfly freak, I don't know, but they are really fun, and to fussy cut them out and make a swarm of butterflies lifting off the page like I'm doing here is really fun. And I still have lots of those butterflies left too that I fussy cut out. So if you've seen the close-ups at the beginning of the video, you can see how this gives the butterflies dimension and makes them look more real. It was a lot of fun to do. So once I'm done with this, I have to get a title on here too, and I was like, this is really busy already. Where am I going to put my title? And I decided to use the white thickers that came in the kit. These are foam thickers, and they have a glitter on the top of them, so they're really sparkly and they're beautiful. I like to arrange these foam thickers on a ruler because then I can move things around and decide exactly where I want them. So I am most concerned about how much room I need to leave So I started with the warm, of course, on my big ruler, and then I have the thoughts here, which is more letters, on my small ruler. And wanted to put it in the center above my photo, but I didn't want to start with the warm until I knew how much space I needed to leave, so I needed to add the thoughts there first. So now I want to do the thinking, and of course I ran out of H's, so I had to transform a capital H into a lowercase h, and that was actually it turned out being pretty good. So now I'm going to add the thinking above my warm and add the dots to my eyes. So this is a really good way to make sure your letters are straight when you use the rulers, and you don't have to start adhering things down until you know where you want them. So I really don't have much for embellishments on this layout at all, so I thought I would tuck a few of these tags behind my photo. But they were really long and I didn't want to waste those ephemera pieces, and thought maybe I could use them as banners somewhere else. So I cut them in half since they weren't going to be seen underneath my photo, and I can use them on something else now. So I added a sticker heart and a sticker BU, and I am just going to add some twine here, and my layout is done. So this is my third layout with the March Main kit, so please take a look at my other videos that I've done, and I hope you enjoy them. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.